Hello and welcome to a seasonal map cup cast. This is just a random 1v1 Automatch cast with DonnieChan and Romeo. Romeo, NA's last hope, besides yours truly. We have DonnieChan on OST running mobile defense, mechanized assault, and German mechanized, with the increased range on the Panzerfaust by 7%, the faster recharge on the smoke and manual barrage for the GRW by 10%, and the increased armor on the sniper by 4% on the east end of Chladni Firma. On the west end, we have Romeo on USF running heavy cap with rifle company and airborne. It looks like he's not going to do his signature I built an ambulance and I'm capping with medics right now strat. So he's just going rifles, headed right into the middle. A little bit of a misusage of building some cover negation here with his REs in the middle VP, but not too big of a deal. We have the Grenadiers followed by the MG42 grabbing up the cutoff in the south, and the MG42 grabbing the territory point and going to be supported by the Grenadiers, most likely moving into the middle, trying to get into the church and hopefully this very, very strong building in the west. For those of you who live under a rock or don't know Chladni Firma, we'll go ahead and show you. This is one of the main cutoffs in the south. You have your cutoff in the north, and then you have a secondary for the northwest for the east base, and then the southeast for the west base. So nothing too crazy, and everything is going as planned. We do have DonnieChan building up some barbed wire all over the place instead of just some sandbags. So he is denying the capping circle, forcing his opponent to just stand in the negative cover and stand out in the open where he can engage from over here or utilize the sight blockers on the far end here. MG42 walks right into that said cone, and with those REs in negative cover, the Pioneers looking to lay the smackdown on them, so to speak, but they do walk right into some rifles and negative cover of their own and drop a model and go about to 50% HP. So despite all of that, DonnieChan coming out on the weaker end in terms of just unit longevity, and we do have a sniper from Donnie immediately. And we're got some Grenadiers moving to contest the cutoff for the northwestern fuel for Romeo, but riflemen do meet them and head them off and force them to get behind the planked wood. And while they're walking up and close the gap, they do lose two models, third lost at the close range as they fire point blank at each other. Riflemen do get up behind them and do go ahead and retreat. Sniper was potentially thinking about coming to support them, but with the secondary flank from the rifles, he does leave, and then assault grenadier is called in, so he is going mechanized this late. Normally you see it insta-lock, but 3-minute lock of mechanized on Chladni Firma, no less. It's very interesting, and the sniper shows himself, hits a RE squad immediately across the road, hops into the church, will fire another shot here most likely, and does get it. He retreats straight away. He could have potentially moved over and across and done what he needed to do on Romeo's end, but not chancing the wipe. MG42 hanging out behind just some old crates, protecting the fuel. Can't be flanked from the far south. Rifles going to most likely come out and around. Yeah, he will, but sadly, he has to come from the far south. So when he moves up and through this and walks by the Stug carcass, he will be inside the cone of fire, and it will be a quick retreat. If the MG42 is awake, might be able to crawl. Yeah, he'll be able to crawl out of time. So the MG42 in a little bit of trouble. He's picking it up, denying the green cover here. DonnieChan is, so see that. Meanwhile, Assault Grenadiers and Grenadiers. How does he not get that wipe? Everybody decided to be cross-eyed at the last second. Rifleman squad makes it away by the skin on their teeth. I can't believe that. Absolutely ridiculous. But he has lost, with that engagement, he has lost control of his fuel. Despite having connected, the connection to the base is now negated from that cutoff. So DonnieChan starting to apply the stranglehold, but Lieutenant has already been queued up, and he's going into the M20. He was going to go into a 50 cal, but thinks the M20 is going to be a little better, and this is strictly to hunt down the sniper. Second MG42 on the production line, headed to the front for Donnie. Placing a nice cheeky teller mine in the south on this munitions. Surprised it's not here or here, to be honest. Placing it here while all this barbed wire, the razor wire, is able to be crushed is a bit peculiar, but honestly, this could have even been an S-mine field just to continue along, but either way, nice usage of his munitions, not opting to go into any squad upgrades. He feels like the Assault Grenadiers and the Sniper is more than enough, so he doesn't need the LMGs as of yet. Assault Grenadiers not being focused, so they're going to get close and hug these rifles. Grenadier is going to retreat. Lieutenant not interested in him from the looks of things. Sniper finds a pot shot onto the Lieutenant as they're trying to close the distance against these Assault Grenadiers, which is definitely the wrong choice. Now, they are going to be weakened, and with the M20 here looking to hunt down that Sniper, could pick up the Sniper wipe and the Assault Grenadiers, and is going to chase. It has such good accuracy on the retreat. That's definitely dead. And this is what I was talking about before. It is so good at killing snipers. If the M20 gets anywhere near your sniper, it just kills it every time. I really feel like people have forgotten about it. Like, its accuracy against retreating squads is just insane. He's going to get these Assault Grenadiers too, and he does. So it's already paid for itself. That's far more than the M15 ever could have done. So definitely good usage in showcasing that the M20 is a forgotten unit for the most part for USF, but it is still extremely strong against, especially against these OST players that like to go sniper against USF. But and here's the nice usage of mine. Now, the M6 anti-tank mine, this is not the modified M6. This straight up one-shots light vehicles. And any medium tank that hits this later on will be immobilized. It will have to be repaired here. It breaks the treads, like the Regal anti-tank. Now, we do have a teller in the south from Donnie, but it's not where the M20 is, so it's going to be tough. Maybe he'll be able to get his opponent baited into that. We'll see what happens, and it looks like that might even be the case, especially if he chases, and, oh, he's going to go on, oh, he's going to drive right into it, and it's gone! Utility car goes down, trying to be greedy and going for the wipe on the Pioneer squad, so utility car does go down, but not after it picks up 340 manpower from the Grenadiers, or 280, and then another 300 from the Sniper, or is it 360? I can't even remember anymore. It's 360, so there we go. I'm sort of kind of right, kind of sort of sometimes. So, but 540 manpower, I think that's what I said, so I was right, is gone for Donnie, our OST player, regardless, at the cost of a utility car and 60 munitions. I mean, honestly, the Teller Mine, out of all things that you want it to hit, it's really not a light vehicle. But either way, Romeo locks in airborne, as is pretty signature for him. But despite all this, despite the loss on the Sniper and the Assault Grenadiers, he's still being able to harass his opponent, taking the munitions, taking the fuel, doing everything that he needs to do.
Frag grenades now available for action.
Lieutenant kiting the MG42 in the church. A little bit of a overextension there. He throws down the MK2 frag nade, but the MG42 is content with just sitting here trying to apply the suppression with the MG42 firing at it, the Flammable Warfare 35, and the Pioneers flanking. It's going to be more than enough to get him to retreat. Another set of Teller Mines back here on a little bit too far forward. This really hopes that he takes this path instead of this one. Maybe not entirely ideal, but another frag nade thrown down, getting those Pioneers out of there. And everything's sent home for our OST player, except for this one lone little LMG-wielding Grenadier squad with 3 models still grabbing up that fuel. Southern fuel, completely uncontestable. So he's going to get his cutoff taken and the fuel taken, and it's going to split the map horizontally instead of vertically from corner to corner. We'll see what this second Teller Mine does. There's the paratroopers. Now, the real question is this Thompsons or LMGs? And to be completely honest, I'm really surprised this is not a M1, the 57 millimeter. As it is getting close to that time, especially with the presence that our OSC players put on the map, it is pretty close to him being able to get into support armor or light mechanized and get the 251 out. I mean, it would be really late, but it's definitely an option. So I'm surprised that he's not trying to play a little bit safer and go to the 57 millimeter. But he does love his paratroopers, so I'm curious to see what upgrade he goes. We'll see what happens. We have the OST Blobberoni headed in the south. Curious that he's capping with the Flammenwerfer squad instead of the unupgraded Pioneers, but he's moving after these REs that are going to retreat almost immediately after the neutralization of this point, especially with the LMG Grens here. There's just no point in staying at all. And if he does, it's just bleeding manpower to bleed manpower. And there he goes. After 2 models dropped, that was completely unnecessary. As soon as he got the neutralization, it should have been a retreat. So a little bit of a hiccup there. Block from the paratroopers. Paratroopers putting some good damage onto this Grenadier squad with that negative cover retreat path. Rifles moving along in for this. And if he gets some good connections, he could get the wipe on this. And does he get it? Does not look like he's going to be as lucky as he was earlier on in the day. But I'm very, very curious to see what this M6 does. Once again, not the modified M6. This is the M6 anti-tank. It straight up one-shots lights and completely immobilizes every other vehicle. And it's why I always talk about the M20. It's such an underutilized unit, and I think it's so good against OST in particular, especially if they go into sniper. And another set of airborne. So he's confident that his opponent is not going light vehicles, and he knows the timing for a medium is several minutes away, so he should be able to get the 57mm out way beforehand, or potentially just go straight into the major. He's getting closer and closer to the upgrade for that. But we'll see. We'll see how he decides to play this. We do have the support armor being built. Rifle nade thrown down. He doesn't retreat. The 50% damage reduction by being in the green cover. If he retreated there, the cover is removed, and then he would take far more damage. So in a lot of situations where you don't get out, and it was Thompson's on these paratroopers, in a lot of situations where you're looking at a nade hitting you and you're not going to be able to retreat fast enough without taking damage, it's better just to tank the damage behind green cover, as it'll do far less than if you panic hit retreat. And it's why a lot of squads get wiped from players that aren't calm. Second set of paratroopers moves up. Flammenwerfer Pioneers no longer feeling so good about this. Ambulance all the way up behind the wood-planked building of Kolodny Firm. Ostwind on the production line for Donnie from support armor. Realizing that his opponent has no AT of any kind to speak of, and also the GRW. This Ostwind will be very, very hard for Romeo to deal with. He needs a call on that little old 57mm. And he needs to start taking fights in the north to bait around the M6.
We're losing a capture point.
But I'm sure this Ostwind heads into the south, as that's where the territory is being taken away from. Let's see where it decides to go. Where, oh, where does this Ostwind go? Through all the trees and the fence. It's got some new camouflage. This is a new skin for the Ostwind. It's totally happy holding on to that little twig. But it rolls right up, runs over the Panzer IV carcass, says hello to the lieutenant, and deals some serious damage. And Romeo just not instantly retreating, trying to buy time for this ambulance to run away. GRW? What was that landed there? Looks like it was potentially the GRW, and it is the GRW. It was right on top of the Ostwind. Ostwind is hunting for it from the looks of things. 57mm airdropped in. It does not come with any squad members. And let's see if he's going to go ahead and grab it up with these rifles. And he is, but this Ostwind's going to do work. Smashes down onto one of those paratroopers and puts them underneath the treads of the Ostwind here. Major coming on in out. Not going to do anything. He needs to get this poor paratrooper squad on the inside of this, and it's just bleeding manpower. He has to attack round with a 57mm, as the USF base is the best base of all time. It's such a glorious design, as you can't defend it at all, as your opponent just rings around the rosy for you. But despite all this, Romeo does control the majority of the map still. 57mm now setting up. Does find that shot. It'll just go north now. And Romeo's entire army in the base. The ambulance is hanging out all the way up in the north. Will eventually be spotted by this grenadier squad, and he'll have to hop out the medics. And 57 millimeter gets the shot. He needs to pick it up and turn around. Where's the snares at? Where's his Vet 1 rifles? And there's a snare. Gets it. So Ostwin did its job, though. It put Donnie right back on the map, got him some more map control, took away his opponent's fuel, and bled a ton of manpower. So definitely mission accomplished in terms of the Ostwin. Honestly, I'm really surprised he didn't throw down the light artillery barrage right here just to keep him in the base that a little bit longer. And the ambulance is going to tool on back down the road, and ambulance lives to fight another day. But to be fair, he should have left as soon as that 57 millimeter dropped in.
A capture point is under attack.
So losing the Ostwin, definitely detrimental, but did put a lot of pressure onto the map regardless. 57 millimeter firing into the church, trying to get that MG42 out of there. And now it's going to be the Stug E, which will be more than capable of dealing with the infantry-only loadout, the heavy anti-infantry loadout of Romeo. And I really like that this bunker play was being utilized. He's trying to get it out of there. LMG Gren's protecting it until the MG42 comes out on it, and this is what the Ostwin bought time for. So now he has to take out this bunker on his cutoff, and the 57 millimeter is going to die to these LMG Grens. Light artillery barrage right outside the base, right where the retreat path is. There goes the 57 millimeter, and the Stug E shows up. He's not retreating this ambulance or anything back. I'm very surprised. And he needs to recrew that, but it's getting smacked by a bunch of light artillery from the barrage. And REs go in and they crew it up immediately. 57 millimeter ready to go. Can he find the shot? He is sight blocked a little bit. That was most likely an attack round. And the 57 millimeter is going to back out of here. Can he get the snare? He does. 57 millimeter gets the shot, and he loses the Stug E. Why back away instead of just driving by the sight blockers? Definitely a misplay from Donnie there. Losing that Stug E was totally unnecessary. He should have 100% just drove away. Backing into the line of sight of the 57 millimeter was very peculiar, but it seems like Romeo has short-term memory loss. He's forgotten that the MG42 wielding bunker is here, courtesy of suppression, with a side of suppression. So he just tries to crawl his way when he could easily just walk up this road and just ignore it. 57 millimeter is shooting at it, trying to take it out, but look at the map control and how it has changed. The whole map belongs to Donnie now. So now what this is going to allow him to do, even more so than before, is go into tier 4 and get that Brumbar out. Light artillery barrage onto the 57 millimeter. Another Stug E. Just kidding. He wants to close out this game right now. So Stug E onto the front lines again. 57 millimeter is alive, and the M4C will be hitting the field momentarily, or at least being produced and requisitioned to this front line, at which point the Stug E will have no chance of dealing with it. But it will deal that damage, especially if it hits that paratrooper squad and wipes it, and it does, and that was unfortunate at best. Another shot. Romeo's trying to stick it out, trying to get that Pioneer squad wiped, and he does get it, and there he goes. He'll retreat now. The attack round, does he lead it? It wasn't an attack round, so it shoots where the units were, rather where they will be. 57 millimeter fighters into this wood planked house as he's trying to get him out of here. If Stug fires, misses. 57 millimeter still interested in trying to drop the house, and Stug honestly doesn't have to do anything. He just has to play this slow and go, okay, well, come fight me. He's trying to get the fuel back under his control. He needs it. He needs this fuel so much. But he's only going to get a neutralization at the very best. 57 millimeter can't even move up because the LMG Grens are inside of his base, essentially. USF Mortar would be totally okay, but he doesn't have the manpower because he's just fighting into this LMG Gren. And the paratroopers are astronomically expensive, especially in their repair costs, and that last Stuggy shot was on the money, drops 3 models. And there's a GRW on all the USF units. Right where the ambulance is. In fact, if the next one smacks it, it would potentially drop the ambulance. He sets it up just a little bit further away. RE squad trying desperately, asking very politely for those grenadiers to leave. Stug E setting up 57mm is here. Does he stay a little too long? Can he get the snare? He gets a shot off the 57mm, but just outside of the range for the snare. Paratroopers with the Thompsons now may be able to get these guys out of here, especially if they use the MK2. Throw the MK2, and he should lead it on the other end of this building, but nope, doesn't use anything. Doesn't want to use his munitions. Stug moving forward is sight blocked by this little old shed. Nice attack round here. Vet 1, so it now does have access to the target weak point. And he moves forward again, but these LMG Grens, man, they have been laying the hurt onto Romeo. Another light artillery barrage. Gren's retreating home. Should be able to get a wipe on that negative cover retreat path, and he does. 57mm trying to move forward. It's getting stuck behind the sight blocker. He sets it up. Finds one shot. He even gets the GRW, retreats. 57mm finds another shot, drops the Stug again. Has he teched? He still has not teched. Unbelievable. And we have the German Usain Bolt running off the field. All of his friends died, so the only option is to retreat back home and then just disappear through this log stack. Yes. Very good. Very realistic. Rifles should be able to win against these Pioneers, but the damage really has been done. Thankfully, Romeo has plenty of VPs to work with, so he could bounce back. He steals the GRW. Can he make it back home with it? They're setting up and firing at the church. Come on, boys. There you go. And they go home. Panzer Grenadiers now coming on out. That's his choice now. But he's still in this. Another Stug E would definitely... I 100% disagree. Like, worst case scenario is save for the Tiger, but I do genuinely think he should go into Tier 4 and abuse the hell out of that Brembar. There's no point for him not to tech right now. And there's the M4C. M4C will put him back onto the map. As the only answer that Donnie has is the combat package upgrade for the Panzer Grenadiers. I mean, he's lost his sniper, he's lost a set of Grens, another set of assault grenadiers. He's looking for the snare on the ambulance. He gets it, but the base bunkers are going to protect it, so he's going to try and shoot it down with the LMG Grens. He does get it, so a little greedy from Romeo not to hop the medics out and keep some sort of healing, and then he retreats on back to base. This M4C can literally just drive into our OST player's base and kill everything. Lieutenant with Vet 3 now does have the sprint outside of combat, so he will be able to move around the map a little bit more, but there's the M4C. Now would be a really good time to use the Major Recon, if he had the munitions. Does he switch from the armor? No, he's still on armor piercing, so he's not on HE yet, but he's going to get rid of the MG42. The bunker. I really like this play, by the way. It's very Panzer Grenadier-esque, and Panzer Grenadier and Greifen-esque, for those of you who don't know. A crazy, crazy player who does nothing but non-meta stuff for the most part. But there he goes. He switches to the HE now. And we'll deal with the MG42 hanging out in the church. MG42 in the church needs to get out of there sooner rather than later, especially with the GRW smashing down on it. And he's not picking up. 3 models die. The only things left is this squad here, and it dies to the ambient fire of a rifleman squad. So MG42 dies, Bunker dies. All of a sudden, looks like Donnie's going to lose unless he calls in the Tiger. which is his best play at this point. But he's fighting into a double vet 57mm and an M4C. And honestly, if he can get control of these VPs, he'll be fine. But there's the Tiger. Everybody's favorite big cat coming onto the field. And just like the Oswin before him, taking a part of the tree. And running over all of the vegetation in Clodny Firma. Interestingly enough, it heads to the south, and once again, he has his M6 down. I wonder if he's going to try and bait him into that and kill it that way. Run away with the M4C. Try and get to the Tiger into a precarious situation. Double snare here would be good. Does he queue him up? He doesn't have the munitions because he has no map control. M4C is going to be switching shells again. Yep, it's going on to armor piercing, no problemo. And another set of Pioneers. He desperately needs them on the OST player's side. As this Tiger is going to take any sort of damage, he needs to keep it alive. This is the only thing going to keep him in the game. And honestly, once Romeo gets a little bit of munitions available to him on USF, he can call in the P47. And that could be a finisher or just an area denial for VPs to hold on to. Gren's looking to snare this up, potentially. Nice damage there. And the Sherman's going to drive away 57mm, trying desperately to pen the frontal armor of the Tiger, but not succeeding. Riflemen very low. Can the Panzer Grenadiers pick up the kill on the retreat path? They cannot. Ambulance not replaced yet. 57mm still trying. Armor piercing shell hits that Panzer Grenadier, no problem. And there's some pens from the 57mm, courtesy of the Sabo rounds. The paratroopers have to get out of there from the double Flammenwerfer Pioneers. Tiger rolls up, tags the M4C, but the Sabo round's still active on that 57mm and pens it yet again. He's got to repair. Even an attack round there, still trying to find it. That Tiger heads quite a far ways away. But Romeo stabilizing, not calling it in, not throwing in the towel when he was in his base. So, despite not being very active in the last few months, he still has some poise left on him to not panic in situations where he knows his opponent's just trying to close out the game and throwing away a lead. LMG Grens and weakened Panzer Grenadiers found out by the lieutenant. Lieutenant just says, nah, I don't want anything to do with that, and heads back on home. But the Tiger, the victory for OST is squarely on the shoulders of this Tiger right now. Every engagement where our OST player loses any manpower is catastrophic. Especially if he gets wiped here. And he's on the HE shells. He's looking for the wipe. Is the Tiger going to be able to react to this? It is heading back to the base. This could be partially a bait, though, for Romeo, because he knows he has that mine in the north. And he's just trying to get this Tiger to react. And the Tiger is reacting. The Teller mines from Donnie, he's going to drive right over him. But he's going to try and bait into the M6. He can take about 3 shots here. But if he gets snared by these Grenadiers, which he might, and he is, it's not going to make it to the mines in time. There's the snare. Does he get around? He does. He's gonna hunt for this. Oh, if he gets this. Oh, he baited it, but he's just not close enough. Oh, no. He's so close. Oh, just a little bit farther. Oh, he should have attack rounded there. He should have blown on the mine on the Tiger. Oh, no, throw the MK2. Now, there he goes. He backs over. It's completely immobilized now. Tread broken. You can't see it, but the tread is broken. He has to repair this here. Sadly, the M4C goes down, but everything from Romeo's has to come up here now. Tiger Shot drops the building with the REs in it, but the 57mm is firing away. The only way he gets this to move is if he repairs it all the way, which he will be able to because Romeo assaulted that without any vet. And there's a light artillery barrage onto the 57mm. He has to recruit this right now or it's just going to explode from the connection on it. And it looks like it was a rifle nade that dropped it. So that Tiger is going to live. He needs to get another 57mm in here. The Panzer IV is headed to the front line to protect this Vet 1 Tiger tank now. Panzer Grenadier is going to make short work of this weakened rifle squad. He still can't leave. He's still completely immobilized. Still an MG42 GRW trying to land some shots, but GRW going home. Panzer Grenadier is not retreating. It's just the MG42. And Romeo smelled the blood in the water, but just wasn't properly prepared to go for it. So the Pioneers will, despite the sitting duck that this is, will be able to repair it up and get it out of there. That's really unfortunate. If he wouldn't have been pushed off the map, that would have been also a really... paratroopers got a flank and a wipe, double wipe on the Pioneers. It's a sitting duck with a quarter, just a little tiny warm breath of HP on it. It's completely immobilized. It's just a very fancy bunker right now. He has to cancel these Panzer Grenadiers and go for Pioneers. Unbelievable. The flanking, there he goes. He cancels them, double Pios. The Panzer IV will help deter this, though. So now what's his choice? Does he go into a tank destroyer? Does he go into another M4C? No, he calls in a 57mm to be paradropped. That's a lot. That's actually, even if he does finally get that Tiger repaired, that's a huge pickup on those paratroopers. Panzer IV does what it does best on the move, or not even on the move, just does what it does best, misses a shot. 57mm setting up. He's got the snare ready for his Vet 1 squad here, so there's a shot, there's the pen, and immediately should be snaring it. Should be immediately snaring it. Should immediately be snaring it. Okay, good talk. Panzer IV gets away for free. Pioneers are going to finally make it over to this guy in about 15 seconds and repair it up, no problemo. And the Tiger tank will be back, and just like that, our OST player is back in the game. But a lot of fuel on Romeo's side, and I'm really interested in the fact that he's been eating light artillery barrage after light artillery barrage on the 57mm, that he even wants to deal with using a team weapon again. So I'm very concerned that this just wasn't a tank, to be honest. And it's going to get repaired up in the last second. Can he get it? Oh, he got it just in time, a half second earlier, and it would have still been being repaired for that tread. But the tread is put back on. And there they go. And now a Tiger and a Panzer IV, all of a sudden not looking very good for Romeo. Especially being below 100 VPs. Rifle grenade caught by the lieutenant, but no models dropped, just a little bit of damage. GRW recrewed by our USF player after being wiped. He needs an anti-tank. Paratroopers, can they get the wipe? They do. They do find a wipe on the retreat path. So nice positioning from Romeo. I mean, he's really putting the pressure on, and he's playing the infantry game so well. The problem is he has no answer to the small grouping of armor for our OST player. Second Panzer IV now coming to the front. Tiger, can't believe that it lived that M6 mine from the M20. Oh, so unbelievably unfortunate. And he baited that so well, too. Romeo did, to get him to drive into it, and just wasn't able to capitalize on it. Wasn't ready. What's his answer? He has to go into the Jackson, right? Like, that's got to be it. Like, he's got to save up and go into the Jackson. It's the only thing I can think of. The Jackson will do a lot of work. He's winning these infantry engagements. He doesn't need any more anti-infantry. Like, he's going to take out a Panzer IV here for free. Last shot from the 57mm, as long as they don't miss, should be A-okay. And there it goes. He gets it up. And as soon as the Panzer IV hits the field, the first one dies. So I do genuinely believe that a Jackson here would just do wonders for him, is he's wiped infantry section after infantry section for the OST player. The only thing keeping him in this game is his armor.
We're losing a capture point.
57mm sets up, MG42 sets up. He's got access to the Sabo rounds. The problem is, where is his reinforcement? This could just be dropped, and there it is. There's the Jackson. This could just be dropped by the Tiger shooting at it, to be honest. And there's another Panzer IV that he was not prepared for. He does get the shot. Can he get the snare? These riflemen need to wake up right now, and there he goes. He gets it from all the way out in the middle of nowhere, but the 57mm is down. The Jackson's not going to be here in time. Panzer IV wisely targeting the 57mm, just removing it from the playing field. MG42 going to be able to retreat back home. Panzer IV does what it does best, misses, and there's a huge physics implosion as that 57mm goes down. However, I don't think this Jackson can actually pick up the kill on this Panzer IV, simply because it is a glass cannon, quite literally. And that it just can't trade toe-to-toe, especially with something like the Tiger. And Tiger makes short work of that MG42. The ambulance head on home. The forward retreat point from the major is canceled. GRW that was stolen is headed home. And he's realizing that the pressure from the VPs, the paratroopers, have to head in the south. Jackson is here, though. That rifleman squad's definitely dead. Yes, very realistic. There's a secondary hole in the turret where it shoots out. And honestly, with the Tiger in the south, the Panzer IV is unsupported, but there's the first shot from the Panzer IV and deals way too much damage, and the Jackson shoots some wood in disgruntled panic and backs on it away, and rightfully so. He does get the retreat from the Panzer Grenadiers in the south. Only one VP under his control. In the middle will be back under his control, but he does have the P-47 rocket strafe now, so he can deny a huge area. Jackson being repaired immediately with the vehicle crew back home. Jackson needs to get crew to right now and come start dealing damage to this lieutenant. Now, if he can snare this and throw down the rocket strafe, he'll be in a really good spot. He gets the neutralization, which is exactly what he needs, but does the Tiger pick up the kill on the retreating squad? Sadly, he does not, and the Panzer IV also misses. And now the Jackson's going too far forward. It might get snared here. He has to be really careful with this, and it does not care about these hedges. It has heavy crush, so it will roll right through that, and the P-47 rocket strafe is thrown down immediately. P-4 picks up the ambulance, but the Tiger gets snared. There he is. He needs to keep sight on this. The road bonus there. The Tiger taking a ton of damage. Jackson comes up, tags it again, and is going to back on it away. Can he get it? He's going to run at this with rifles, potentially, and try and get the kill that way. Panzer IV still doing what it does best. And now the Blitzkrieg is used. P-47 coming in for another strafe. Tiger goes down. P-47... is it going to be able to get the kill on this? He has to get the kill. He should have kept backing up. All right, he has to play the VP game now. Panzer IV is a lot easier to deal with than essentially a Vet 2 Tiger. But the Tiger is down, but it did buy enough time for our OSC player to bounce in. I'm really surprised the Stug-E's not being called in right now. Now would be a good time for the Stug-E. Paratroopers blocked on the retreat path. Have to go all the way around the grove in this small house here. VP being taken in the middle. It's going to head north. Last strafe from the P-47. Did he actually see that? No way! He actually got spotted in the last strafe from the P-47. Picks up the Panzer IV. And there's the Stug-E called in immediately to replace it.
We've fallen to 25 points.
M4C queued up. Lieutenant with a sprint, gonna get spotted by non-vet LMG Grenz. He's gonna have to stand on this VP. North VP going his way too. Catastrophic losses on both sides, but the M4C will be able to deal with the Stug, no problemo. MG42 in the middle, won't be able to get that pin. We'll get the suppression and the pin just before that's capped. Meanwhile, up in the north, the Stug-E shows. He's going to be able to secure the south, though. So as long as he can hold 2 and stop the bleed on the VPs, he'll be okay. Stolen GRW sings through the middle. Panzer Grenadiers going to go and try and contest these Thompson up paratroopers and the lieutenant as well. He's going to try and sneak by the MG42, especially on negative cover. A little ambitious. There's a shot from the Stug-E, and the M4C is here. It's just now entering the play zone. MG42 will head back on into the base. GRW going to catch a shot, and M4C not on vehicle prioritization. Now it is, but the first shot was at the Grenz. And it's going to be bullied off. Middle VP neutralized, but not in anybody's control, which is just fine. Does he hit this? Does he hit this teller mine? Don't hit this teller mine. Do not chase this. He is baiting you so hard. Do not chase this. Please, no! Romeo. But he picks up the kill. He manages to get it at the last second. He needs to switch to HE shells. He hops out. He's going to do the critical, repair critical, so he's going to get that off of there, and There's nothing around to capitalize. He doesn't even have the munitions to be able to throw down the light artillery barrage, so he's going to drive away regardless. 57mm air dropped in, and I think that's game. I think our OST player is out of here. I mean, he does have a ton of fuel. We could see a second Tiger potentially, but man, it's going to be tough. He needs to get another ambulance on the field. Once he repairs this Sherman, I would be driving into the base. He needs to get this recon. As soon as he has the munitions, he needs to throw a recon through the base. See what he's looking at, because as of right now, he's looking at 2 no-vet Grens and a Panzer Grenadier with a triple-vet LMG Gren. Bunker up in the north. That will help hold this for a little bit. The M4C will move over into this after the lieutenant spots it out. Just kidding, it's headed to the middle. Oh yeah, he's gonna use this to push off in the middle. MG42 is here. HE shells are equipped on the M4C, so any clumping at all will get this deleted. There's a light artillery barrage onto the MG42, but he has no way of actually dealing with his M4C. So yeah, he's gonna get it neutralized, but in reality, it doesn't truly matter too much. Trying to use the road to cap this. The South VP is changing hands. He has to find a play. This M4C can't afford to be here. Paratroopers are going to try and stand on this. He might get some wipes. And he goes and uses the tactical assault, which super ups their damage. But he doesn't get any wipes, and this is game. Did he actually just lose by not going into the north and capping? No way. Romeo. Oh, how absolutely unfortunate. Yeah, he couldn't afford to stay here. I mean, the M4C didn't offer anything of value that the paratroopers couldn't have done. Yeah, he should have been here or here with the M4C and then just capped with the vehicle crew. Oh, he played his heart out and doesn't pick it up. And there was a second Tiger available to him too, so I don't know how long he would be in it. But does Donnie deserve this win? I'm not so sure, to be honest. He threw as hard as he could. Donnie did this whole game, but I can't believe the value on that P-47. It was a really good game to cast. Plenty of back and forth. And mini celebrity. He's not really in the limelight anymore, but either way, GG. And I guess we'll go ahead and get on to the next one.